Hello and welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I will be talking about the third in the Scrum Processes series, the Daily Standup. The agenda for this video is going to be a walkthrough on what a Daily Standup is, what are the roles in this meeting, and what are the common mistakes most people tend to make. Firstly, what is a daily stand-up? A daily stand-up is a 15 minutes time-boxed event for the development team to synchronize on activities and create a plan for the next 24 hours. Plan of what? Plan of achieving the sprint goal. This definition is quite clear. You meet daily. It is time-boxed to 15 minutes. Let me just point out here, 15 minutes is set for a Scrum team of between 8 to 9 people. So if you are lesser people, you accordingly reduce the time box. What are the advantages? It helps improve communication. And this is not just communication between the developers, but it's communication within the whole team, to your PO, to your Scrum Master, and between each other as a dev team. It is used to flag blockers and impediments. If there is anything that is blocking you from achieving your sprint goal, or if there are any impediments or any kind of dependencies, this is the meeting where you would flag it to your respective PO or Scrum Master, and they would then accordingly work towards clearing this so that you are unblocked as soon as possible and you can achieve your sprint goal. This meeting is used to inspect the progress towards the sprint goal. As I had mentioned in my previous video, during the planning meeting, we set a sprint goal, which is basically what we are going to do in the next 2 weeks. And how do you know if you're on track? You need to inspect it, right? And this is the meeting where we do that. This is not a status report meeting, but a check-in, a status check-in meeting. A lot of times I've noticed people consider a daily stand-up as a way where you need to use the word in the slide, report what you have been doing to, say, a product manager, a product owner, or a Scrum Master. No, you are not answering to anybody here. This meeting is a meeting for the developers, by the developers, so that you as a team are in sync of what each and everyone is doing. Will you guys together as a team achieve that goal that you had committed to this product owner to? Product owner in charge of product backlog. Dev team in charge of the sprint backlog, i.e. the sprint goal. Since this is a 15 minutes time boxed event, of course, we cannot get into a lot of technical discussions, right? It is okay, because sometimes not all discussions need every single member of the team. So an example for this would be, hey, I need to discuss some, I'm going to use the example I've been using throughout the series, my product being this video series. So in my daily stand-up, I tell my product owner, hey, I have a blocker. I need some questions regarding the research that I'm doing. But of course, I would like to, could you hang back after this daily stand-up so I could discuss it with you and clarify some questions? That would be the best way to do it. So after the daily stand-up, if anybody else in my team is interested, oh, what research is she talking about? They can stay at their will, but the main conversation will happen between me and whoever I need to. I do not need to forcibly have everybody else stay on that call while I discuss it. Now, what are the roles that each of us play in this meeting? As a product owner, you are typically a silent spectator. Now I want to explain what this means. This doesn't mean he has to sit there quietly. This means that as a product owner, you would not ask for questions or anything. You listen to the information that is being given to you in this meeting. And half the responsibility here falls on their dev teams. It is on you engineers to keep your Jira tickets or whatever tool you use. Keep your tickets up to date. Make sure the status is as up to date as possible. Make sure if there's any documentation that is linked and all the information is available in the right places. A tip I would like to share here is, as a product owner, it would be nice if you also participate in the daily stand up by giving a check in of what you are doing in terms of the product. You know, if you had a meeting with the stakeholder, maybe just a one or two lines of what that meeting was about. If there is something that you have in mind, if you're ideating for the next sprint, um, maybe share something with the team, just one or two lines, because it just gives the team an insight of what you do as a product owner. It helps them understand better, and if there are some pressures that you are facing, it just helps the team understand you and your role better. Same goes for Scrum Masters, by the way. It would be nice if you can also start participating in the stand-up. The dev team, well, you are basically in charge of conducting the meeting. The content of the meeting and how the meeting will run is on you. What, as a dev team, you need to decide what kind of updates make sense to give your teammates, and basically you need to give the right information that says, hey, are we on track, off track, what is the progress on my ticket, etc. As a Scrum Master, your role is more of a support system here. You support the dev team to make sure that this meeting happens every day, and you help them stick to that 15 minutes time box. Now, there is one thing, although the daily Scrum is a team meeting, it is still an open invite. So you can have stakeholders or any of your supervisors, etc. Anybody can join this meeting, with the note that they can just participate as an audience. They cannot use this meeting as a place to ask questions. And that falls on the shoulders of the Scrum Master to ensure that that does not happen. Now, coming to the common mistakes, I would like to just highlight one thing. Because the daily stand-up is, at the end of the day, a really short, first thing in the day, a check-in, some of these points will overlap, but that's okay. That is just because each of them kind of are interlinked in some way. Firstly, usually it goes over the 15 minutes time box. What are the reasons? There are various reasons. You get into technical discussions, there are question and answers asked here, there's no clear agenda of what this meeting is supposed to be, so on and so forth. I could honestly just go on, but I'm trying to stick to my time box. This meeting is treated as a status update meeting. The engineers look at this meeting as a place to give the product owner a report of what they've been doing for the past day. No, this meeting is absolutely that. That actually goes against agility and its whole. There is no system of reporting and answering to someone. The whole point of agile is each individual in this team is accountable for the work that they're committing and doing, and it is expected that you give your 100%. So yeah, don't treat this meeting as a place to report anything. As I mentioned in my first point, technical discussions happen in this meeting. As far as possible, I know it is difficult because sometimes it happens in the flow, right? You'll give a status, a check-in update on your particular task, and then there's a question, and it's very easy to fall into this technical discussion. But I think each and every member here, not just the Scrum Master, not just the PO, but each and every dev person also has to be cautious about avoiding slipping into these places. And even if it comes in the flow, you need to kind of cut yourself off, saying, hey, yeah, you know what, let's just take this offline, or can you stay back, let's discuss this after the daily. No, just be aware. Each and every member of the team needs to be aware of this. It does not happen every day. Sometimes, and this is again related to my second topic, right? One of the reasons I've heard people say not to have this meeting is, hey, I have no updates for today, let's not have it. Well, updates for who? You are not giving an update to a PO, as I mentioned. This is a team check-in. So unless it was, the office is shut for 4 days and you genuinely have no work, maybe then it's okay to say I have no updates because you're not working. But otherwise, there should be something you have done that you will want to share, right? So don't look at this as a status update or status report meeting, please. The other thing is the PO asks for certain updates. So this is again something I've noticed. The product owners tend to ask questions regarding tasks. You're like, hey, what is happening in this task? When will this get done? When will you start this ticket, etc. As a The one thing as a product owner you need to be aware of is the team has 2 weeks to complete the task. So you should not be pressuring them to finish it before that given timeline. But there are exceptions. Now if there is a bug or if there is a problem that is time bound, like something has gone down and it needs to be fixed immediately, and there is a pressure it's going to affect, there are monetary impacts of it, etc., yes, of course you can then ask questions. I would still suggest you just at the end of the daily say, hey guys, can you all stick back, I need to understand what is happening with this ticket. But avoid asking these questions in the daily, and avoid asking questions about tasks that are not time bound. If the team has 2 weeks, give them the 2 weeks to complete it before you start pressurizing them and asking questions. Again, if you have to update a stakeholder, by all means discuss it with the person offline, no problem. The other topic is that the PO drives the sprint backlog. Now, this is something I've noticed not all teams do. Like the ownership of the sprint backlog in a lot of places does not fall on the ownership of the developers. It is still something you see the product owners being worried about. That is something I think we all need to change as a practice, because how can somebody who is not technically capable of doing that ticket because he's not an engineer, how can he be responsible of that task if he's not the one building it, right? If you as an engineer, you have said that this is a 5 complexity task during the estimation and you have made a commitment to finish it in 2 weeks, it is then your responsibility to take charge of what you have committed. And that is why, if you remember in my previous video, I said it is the dev team who decides how many tickets they can take into a sprint and do in the 2 weeks. So when you are deciding how much work you will do, you are basically taking in ownership of the sprint backlog. And then it is up to you to fulfill that commitment. And this shouldn't be something the PO should be worried about. This still happens in a lot of teams. I must admit, even my teams, we are still making this transition of shifting the ownership of this to the engineers. So it will take time, but start becoming aware of that. Start that practice, because it's only going to yield good results. And last but not least, don't laugh when you read this point, but typically sitting down and having this meeting is not the best approach. I mean, the word itself says, right, daily stand up. And just think about it. When you are sitting, it's very easy for us to lose track of how much we are talking, because you're comfortable. There is no pressure, there is no physical discomfort that is pushing you to stop talking quickly. I'm not saying standing up is physical discomfort, but we are not used to standing up, right? So the minute all of your team members are made to stand and give their daily update meeting, after a few minutes, you will already start noticing people start swaying on one leg, they go front and back, they start relaxing. And then automatically each one feels an urgency. Okay, let's just get this over with so we can go back to sit. And which is one of the reasons that this meeting, it kind of helps you stick to that time box. So I know right now most of us are working remote, but I would still encourage you guys, for this one meeting, just stand up. It's okay. Adjust your laptop screens, but just stand up, have this meeting. You will automatically see how you will just fit into the time box. And if not, well, your scrum master needs to then have a discussion with you about concising updates. But you will see the change. You will automatically see the difference when you're sitting down and giving an update to when you're standing up and giving an update. And with that, I would like to wrap up this presentation. Thank you so much for listening again. If you have any questions, feedback, comments, anything, likes or dislikes, please requesting you to add it below so I can read it and improve myself. Uh, Again, thank you so much for watching. Have a great time, all of you. Ciao. Thank you for watching. If you like the content of my video, please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.